silent.
You're gonna be silent.
Yeah.
You've already been captured. All right, y'all, here's how we're gonna do our baked beans. I forgot what I was doing for a second. Okay, now I'm back on track. All right, so we start out with these guys. These are navy beans, and I soaked these. This was, I started out, my brain just quit working. 1.5 cups of dry navy beans. It's 3 cups after they've been soaked. And here's the difference. I saved a few. Let's see if this is clear enough. You see how tiny those are? And you see how they double. I mean, it really makes a big difference. I soaked those. I threw them, I don't know, I threw the water in there about 8 o'clock this morning. I have no idea what time it is right now. It is 12:30. So I gave them several hours. Easiest way to do it is to let them soak overnight. And of course, Bladen decided to mow the front yard right now. So get a nice big covered something. A Dutch oven works great. This was a gift to me a couple years ago. I love it. So just drop your beans right in there, okay? You want something that's got a nice lid on it, something that you can get it nice and sealed. All right, so to this, we're gonna add these things. So I have an onion, relatively small onion. It was only that big, relatively small onion that I diced. And that's 1 bell pepper that I cut up. And I've got about 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, a full tablespoon of dry mustard, about 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, and about 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne. I actually like to use red pepper flakes, but I'm out, so there we go. We're using a little cayenne, not too much, but at some heat is really nice with the maple that we're gonna use. And when I went to the store this morning, I was looking for syrup to use. I really wanted to use maple syrup, but I wanted it to be the grade B, which theoretically it's a lesser quality. You know, there's grade A amber maple syrup, and then they have a grade B. I think the flavor of grade B maple syrup is better, especially when you're cooking with something like this. I just think it works out better, but they didn't have it. What we did have is the grade A amber. It's about 2/3 of a cup, and that's going right in there just like that. And to this, we're gonna add about 1/2 cup just plain old ketchup. We want these to be slightly sweet, but not super sweet. And I'm sitting here realizing I forgot one of our most important ingredients. I forgot the salt pork. So I'm just stirring everything up, and I'm gonna grab the salt pork, and I will be back to show you the next step. Now listen, at this step you can use several different things. You can use bacon, of course, or you can use salt pork, which is kind of more traditional, whichever you happen to want. Salt pork is very similar to bacon, it's just not been smoked, it's cured with salt. It looks like this. It comes in, well, where I got it, it came in a 12-ounce package, and I just cut it in half, and then I diced it up. Right? You can use bacon. I prefer the salt pork, simply because I think too much of the bacon fat renders out into the dish. Makes the texture not my favorite, but you know, if you like it, go ahead. I'm like, I'm all about making your food your way. Seriously. Seriously? All right, so that was 6 ounces of salt pork that I diced up. And here, let's see, here is what we look like. So this all gets stirred together. And I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And we're gonna let this go for several hours, right? Now, about once an hour, I'm gonna check the liquid level to make sure I've got enough liquid. It's not getting too dry. All right, at this point, just add enough water. You wanna cover it. And just a bit more, maybe about like that. So that was right at 3 cups of water. Okay, your beans have already absorbed a lot of water from soaking, but they'll absorb a good bit more, and you'll lose some, even though we're going to have a lid on this, we're going to lose some to the heat and evaporation of the oven. All right, guys, so 350 degrees, and that's almost all you have to do. All right, these have had about an hour and 10 or 15 minutes. Give them a check. That's good. That's exactly what we want. All right, we're about 3 hours in on our baked beans. And here's what you want to do now. You want to taste and see if the beans are tender enough. Because at this point, I'm leaving the lid off to evaporate the last of that liquid. If your beans are not tender enough, and you're getting this low on liquid, you need to add some more and let it keep going. Actually, I'm going to add another cup of liquid and let mine keep going. Alright guys, we've had just at 4 hours. We're about to lose the light. I gotta hurry. And these are gorgeous. I just tasted a couple of beans out of this pot, and they are nice and tender. That little bit of sweetness from the maple syrup, and then the saltiness of the salt pork, the onion, and the mustard. I mean, this stuff is so good. And other than having to wait on it, I mean, there's no effort to it. You saw how little it took to throw it together. So anyway, guys, let me see if I can. It's not quite the right spoon, but I don't care. See? Perfect. And they taste so much better. So much better than anything you can buy. Give this a try. This is a keeper.
Hey YouTube,